Initially, I was traveling on a bicycle around the world. I started in France, and after some time, I decided to go to Bali. And I built an online business at some point. After a few years, I thought, yeah, it would be great to explore a new area that I don't know. So we went to Sulawesi. Basically, I discovered this island through connection, friend of a friend. It's like 160 hectares island with nothing on it. I kept thinking, what could I do that would make sense on that island that would allow me to also live there. Let's get the plot of land, which we could use to start developing something. It has to be, a sustainable resort. You cannot build a sustainable solution without including locals. It took me some time to understand. You don't realize that actually those people, they've been here for longer and they know more about literally everything related to the island. You just need to spend time with them, learning, listening, really understanding what's happening there. And then when I thought about the resort, the main challenge was I'm not an engineer, I'm not a developer, so I literally took a sheet of paper and I wrote down what do we need to live on that island. First thing that came to mind was electricity, then it was water, and I took each one of those things and started to do some research. Then I learned about how to build a solar power grid, and I was like, okay, that's it. Electricity, kind of solved. Water was more challenging. We are surrounded by water. Can we actually use it somehow? Turns out removing salt from seawater isn't as easy as it sounds, but it is possible. We're using reverse osmosis desalination. Then I learned you can actually desalinate seawater to the point you can actually drink it. I was like, that's the problem, researching the problem, and turns out people already found solutions. Yeah, the idea behind the name Reconnect was this idea of connecting again. And I used the principle from the Trihita Karana in the Balinese philosophy, which is the connection to earth, to others, and to yourself. Preserving the environment is twofold. First is how to not destroy it, and second is how to regenerate it. How to not destroy it is about thinking about the impact we're having by developing, on the island. So in our case, we thought of what's the type of wood that's available around us, right? Instead of importing, maybe teak wood from another island. The second thing was regeneration. When you go to remote islands like this, you realize that the reefs, for example, have been damaged over time. Sometimes because of dynamite fishing. So this is something we can have a good impact on by first stopping it and then transplanting corals. This is one of the programs we're having here. When I thought about the project, of course I had to think of what are people going to do here? Initially, we thought of snorkeling and stand-up paddle. During COVID, there was this guy on another island. He said, hey, can I just come and try to do some dives around the island just to see, what it looks like? When he came back from his first dive here, he was like, dude, it's amazing. it would be such a shame not to have a dive center here. Six months ago, we started to officially accept divers, and the feedback has been great. I think it was 2 years or 3 years in, I was on a trip to Makassar. This is where I met with my wife. Yeah, quickly we moved in together on the island. I was lucky that she's the type of person who like living remotely, far from the crowd, so it was a good match for that. 1 year and a half ago, we had our first baby. Athena is, roaming around, like playing in the sand. Raising a kid here, it's perfect, it's ideal for us. So right now, what we're thinking for the future, if I have to think like 5 or maybe 10 years from now, is reaching maybe 20 accommodation, having this as the maximum available on the island. One of the plans is to reinvest as much as possible of what we make to get more land on the island, not to develop, but to actually preserve them. One of the goals would be to grow most of our food on the island, so we are as sustainable as possible also with the food. Yeah, we came a long way, from nothing to something. I always see what's left, what we still need to do, what we still need to improve. When I wake up, I'm pretty much driven by that. And I don't see myself as an owner, I'm just a conductor.